This is something we're expecting to happen. This is what happens next in the process, right?
Right. This is absolutely right. It would have been bizarre for them to say we're not going to consider it and just reject it out of hand. So, yeah, they're going to consider it. It looks like they've got a board meeting to look at it next week, just seeing the headlines crossing now. And yeah, they're going to have to weigh it against the Disney bid. As we know, the Murdochs prefer the Disney paper to the Comcast paper, but the Comcast bid is very, very superior in terms of all-out value. I think it was 19 or 20% above the last Disney offer. The real question now is, does Iger come back? Does Iger try and get in front of this? Is there a way he can come back ahead of this board meeting, or does he wait to see what the Murdochs do, how they play it out? Exactly.
So you mentioned that the Fox team prefers the Disney bid. They see a future for them in the Disney business. Do you think Comcast has carved out a role for the Murdochs in this combined Comcast-Fox assets business? It's
a great question. Not publicly, there's not been anything said along those lines, but look, I'm sure everything is going to be on the table as part of the negotiations if these companies get to that point. And the Murdochs have a lot of sway. They obviously have the ultimate say in what happens with this asset. So if there was a scenario where they were very close to agreeing a deal and it was contingent on someone in the Murdoch family or everyone in the Murdoch family getting a certain role, I'm sure that could be discussed. But as we know, Disney have already established what roles the Murdochs or certain Murdoch family members could take on in a pro forma company. And I think Murdoch also has just said he sees more upside potential in Disney as an asset, as a merged asset with Fox over time than he does with Comcast. But again, this is the Comcast offer is, at least on paper, substantially significant.
Let's broaden this out a little bit. Why is everyone so desperate to go after Fox's assets? I mean, Rupert Murdoch is happily willing to sell those assets right now. Shouldn't that make anyone pause?
That's why. That's why, because it's Murdoch's. This is Murdoch's empire. People have always coveted this stuff. You're right. Him selling maybe is a sign to a savvy buyer, like this is the worst possible time to buy. But you know what? Once someone's acquired these, they're not coming back out. At least not for a long, long time. So if you're going to buy these assets, you're going to buy them now.
It's like a great apartment that's come onto the market and everyone's been looking at it and salivating
and you know when that great apartment comes onto the market, it's probably because it's like a great seller's market, especially if the owner is as savvy as Murdoch. But at the same time, if someone else acquires it, you lose that opportunity. And we know, because we're seeing this again and again in the media space, the pace of disruption is such that people are trying to get in front of every next change. And maybe the way to do that here is to buy these assets, to have some dominance in the studio space.